And I see some bushes, and a tree, and a dog. Boy dog. And I see you.
You're here.
When most people think of Drake and Josh, they picture the scheming, the chaos, and the sibling rivalry that morphed into a friendship. And long before Crazy Steve or stolen Gary Coleman girls, there was a simpler kind of misadventure, one in the depths of Season 1. Season 1, Episode 2, titled Dune Buggy, quietly set the tone for the sibling rivalry that would make the entire series so memorable, while still having some of the awkward moments as the show found its footing early on. This is the story of Dune Buggy, an early episode that gave us a first look at how far our favorite stepbrothers were willing to go, and one that was ultimately banned for a slightly different reason than the Gary Grill. Before we dive in, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as I cover more banned episodes in the future. Dune Buggy originally aired on January 18th, 2004 as the second episode of the series. It begins with Josh lamenting a familiar situation. Drake gets away with everything. As Josh explains the unfairness, Drake happily eats cake with his hands, drinks milk straight from the carton, and wipes his sticky fingers on the living room curtains. I specifically remember this cold opening growing up and thinking that it would be so cool to get away with all the stuff that Drake is able to. Their adventure begins when Drake's friend Trevor gives them an old Dune Buggy. At first, it seems like a dream come true, until they realize it's an absolute piece of junk. Still, they're determined to fix it up. Part of the setup of the episode involves Josh accidentally breaking the family TV, and Drake encourages him to lie about it, which Josh does, only for his moral compass to prove right and end up being grounded when he can't handle the pressure and admits to the crime.
What, is there something on TV you don't want me to see?
No.
Huh. It's not working.
Why, thinking I don't.
Josh!
It was a pillow! A pillow! It's the ruin and it's the soda and the root beer with the spilling on the TV and the poop!
Drake doesn't suffer the same consequences, in his words, ever. In the episode, he states he's never been grounded, thinking that he can get away with anything, and the real arc of the episode begins. Drake and Josh fully restore the buggy, but once it's running, their parents tell them they absolutely cannot drive it whenever. It's too dangerous, despite the boys' best attempts to convince them otherwise. Never having been caught before though, Drake naturally chooses to ignore them. He secretly takes the Dune Buggy out for a spin with Trevor and crashes it and injures himself in the process, having been taken to the hospital. Rather than tell the truth, Drake hides both the broken buggy and his physical pain. Josh only finds out when the emergency room calls, and he soon lets his feelings be known by having Walter do an absolute smackdown on him, teaching him some wrestling moves with Drake as the test dummy. Eventually guilt, or pain, wins out. Drake confesses everything, that he drove the buggy, got hurt, wrecked it, and even tricked Josh into lying about the broken TV. Their parents ground Drake for 2 weeks. But in classic Drake and Josh fashion, even punishment works out in Drake's favor. Because of his injuries, his grounding is more of like bed rest with Josh as the waiter, keeping him staying home from school, lounging around the house, and Josh bringing him snacks. The episode ends with Drake once again living the easy life, so Dune Buggy is one of the show's earlier episodes that I remember most. And for a number of reasons, it really did establish that core Drake and Josh formula. Drake causes a problem, Josh somehow deals with the fallout, and Drake ends up on top most of the time. It was hilarious and absurd, so I called this one a banned episode as well, just like the Gary Girl, and why is that? This time, instead of any fancy celebrity cameos, it's because of music licensing rights. When Trevor and Drake are in the Dune Buggy, they kick on the radio and a copyrighted song comes on for, I'm talking, a split second. Rather than editing that out, Nickelodeon just chose to pull the entire episode. I think this one would be a lot easier to fix than say Gary Girl, but apparently to Nickelodeon, it's just not worth the time. In the end, Dune Buggy is a time capsule of early 2000s Nick. The style and tone of the episode is very different than later in the series, but it still remains one of my favorites, even if it is a bit harder to find. It may not have a place on Paramount Plus, but now it has a place in the archive of everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.